I might want to check the processor on this computer. I don't know. Hey, everybody. Welcome to today's presentation. We're going to get started here in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail.
We are. Gary, we're looking a little blue. We're looking like one of those Polaroid shots today. We've got some cool camera action going on. So today we've got an interesting topic because right now is probably the busiest season for listings, right? I mean,
it is.
Statistically and nationally speaking, I know there's different pockets where that's not necessarily true, but this is the time of year when most of us are working. This is the busiest time for listings. And so there is a little secret that an expert listing agent has that we're going to be talking about today that really makes them the, what do you want to call, the one who stands out most in the marketplace.
Oh, yes.
And the one who stands out most when people are going to choose that real estate professional. So we've got some pretty cool stuff today.
That we do. So as we're getting started, I see everybody letting us know where you're calling in from. Thank you so much for participating. Here's what you can expect from us today. We're going to do a lot of training, Chris.
Oh, we certainly are.
We're going to talk a lot. We're going to share a lot of our own business practices. And then at the end of that, we're going to go into Q&A. So here's where we need you to engage with us, is we need you to participate and ask a lot of questions there in the chat section. You obviously know how to use it because you're answering a lot of questions already. So make sure that you use it to ask a lot of questions because we're going to get into Q&A at the end. Now, Chris, what are our goals today?
Well, here's the thing. If you guys, I want to make sure, and I want to tap into you, I want to make sure you can use that chat feature, but I also want to make sure that you're in the right spot, all right? So here's the deal. If one of these 3, just go ahead and type the number into the chat feature of the one that resonates the most, because I want to make sure that you're in the right spot, and I want to make sure that we give you the goods in terms of what you're looking for. So you know you're in the right spot if you want some innovative strategies to be able to, oh, this is the wrong slide that I have in here. You know, if you want some innovative strategies to stand out as a listing expert, you know you're in the right spot if you want, you know what, Gary, this isn't even going to work because
you need to switch over to that, don't you?
I know. For whatever reason, the one that I picked here is not the right.
So hold on.
Oh, I uploaded the long listing presentation. That's why. All right. Let me change things, guys,
okay.
Because I had the wrong thing showing. So let me just pull up this. Did you hate it when you get started and then it's just not working the way you think?
You're like, wait, what am I looking at here?
Okay, sorry. One moment. Here we go. And okay, now we got the right thing on. Sorry, guys. Sometimes I just don't have it all together, but I do now. So let me fit this to screen. All right. So you know you are in the right spot if one of these 3 things are the things that you want to get from us today. I would like to be known as a listing expert agent in my market. I never want to lose a listing to the competition, or I could use a boost in confidence for my next listing appointment. So go ahead to the chat feature. Let me know which one of these 3 things resonates with you the most, because here's the thing. We've got a goal for you today. But before we get into that, and while you guys are entering into that chat feature, I also want to be able to do something. I also want to be able to run a quick poll here.
Yeah.
Which is, Gary, if you mind popping this poll up here. I see we're getting a lot of good feedback there. But while you guys are entering that, I also have one more question. Are you guys using a pre-listing packet? Are you sending out a pre-listing packet? If you pop the poll up there, I'm curious to see how many of you are sending something out.
Yeah.
Before you go on the appointment.
And here's the reason why, is that this will really help us understand kind of who we're working with here today and where we can direct everything, because we do have separate goals. Chris, I'm saying, should I end this poll and share this with everybody?
Yeah, it's looking about 60-40. It's looking about 60-40,
About 60% are saying no, that they don't use anything. But here's our goal for today, Chris. We want to help everybody here create and use a really powerful pre-listing packet to set you apart and get you recognized as a listing expert. And here's why. That is when you start showing up completely differently. And my goodness, Chris, when I started showing up differently like this and have a whole pre-listing strategy and system in place, my business changed.
Now, for those of you who don't know what a pre-listing packet is, it's just stuff you send out before you go on the appointment. All right. Now, I'm going to give you a whole structure around it. We're going to give you everything that you need to be able to get this up and running. And for those of you, for the 40% of you who are already using a pre-listing packet, I'm pretty sure you're going to get some innovative ideas here on how you can make some slight improvements to what you're already doing. With that, Gary, it's probably worthy of just introducing ourselves here. If this is the first time you're joining us, my name is Chris Scott. I'm a real estate digital marketer. I manage social media accounts with over 200,000 connections, and we're across the different businesses that we have together to generate 5,000 leads every month. But today, what you're really interested in learning from is this gentleman right here.
My name is Gary Kreth. I've been selling real estate for over 20 years now, 22 or 23 now. I lose count after 20. I am a listing expert agent. That has been my focus since day one in this business. In the prime of when I was selling real estate full-time and not working with Chris here at Paperless Agent, I was going on about 6 listing appointments every single week and carrying at any given time about 50 pending or active listings. And everything we're going to talk about today really helped me differentiate myself so that when I walked in the door, Chris, number one is I felt and I looked like those expert agents who were already getting all that business.
Right.
You know, I always looked up to these agents who had this massive market share, and I'm like, how do they do that? And when I started using these practices, I started showing up that way. And here's what happened as well, Chris. I got a strut. I was able to strut into these listing appointments because I went in with a confidence that I knew that I was going to be able to walk away with that listing agreement signed. And that's where everything changed for me.
Excellent. All right, so what exactly are we going to be talking about today? We're going to cover the 3 pre-listing packet precepts so that you're going to learn from us and exactly what we're doing today, but I also want you to have some of the fundamentals or the precepts so that you can make the modifications for where you're at. We're going to go into great detail about the 5-part pre-listing packet, so I'm going to break down each section of what should be in there. During the discussion, we're going to cover some real templates and examples so that you guys can see we're not just going to talk theory. We're going to show you real world practice here from what we're using in our own real estate practice here in Austin, Texas. Well, I'm also going to give you a few tools to ethically, I had to throw this word in here, to ethically sabotage the competition. And here's the thing, it's not like we're trying to hurt other folks, but what happens is when your pre-listing packet, when it contains the right information, it makes it to where the home seller who's reading it, who's viewing it, who's going through it, doesn't want to work with anybody else, right?
No, absolutely.
And I think that's
the
what we're trying to
differentiation there is when you differentiate yourself that much, it automatically sabotages the competition.
Okay. Then the last thing, Gary, is that we want to make sure that whatever we put into our pre-listing packet is mirrored in our listing presentation or in our listing appointment. It's really, really bad for you to send stuff out. And there's a huge break-in promise. There's a huge break in consistency. It breaks the law of consistency in marketing if you send something out in your pre-listing packet and it's not reflected in your listing presentation.
No, it's absolutely right, because you got to send what you're doing is you're making promises that your butt can't cash if you don't show up with a listing presentation.
If you send stuff out making these great, bold promises, and then all of a sudden during the listing presentation, they're like, what about this? And what about this? And you're saying, well, what about that? Trust me, you ain't going to get hired, you know? So with that, let's get into the 3 primary precepts or the 3 primary principles of this listing packet, of the one that I'm going to share with you. The first thing is that if you're going to send anything out to a home seller, before you go on the appointment, is that it should do something, Gary, that you always place an emphasis on, which is to differentiate.
Because
right?
Otherwise, why are you sending it? Because here's the thing, Chris. If you send something that is common and doesn't stand out and differentiate, you just solidified in their mind that you're just like every other realtor out there.
What happens when they think we're like everybody else?
Well, here's what happens is that they ask us to discount our commission because we marginalized ourselves. And that's what we don't want to do. We need to differentiate ourselves and stand out from the competition. Otherwise, what's the point in sending anything?
So the next thing we want to do with everything that's in this pre-listing packet is to build or cement reputation and trust.
Absolutely.
Now, this is a really big deal. You guys already inherently know this, that people hire us when they know, like, and trust us. But statistically, according to the National Association of Realtors, trust and reputation are paramount in both buyers and sellers choosing to work with us.
Yep.
So if we're sending out anything that doesn't purposefully build or cement that reputation and trust, we're not helping ourselves, right? In fact, we're oftentimes hurting ourselves with what we send out, because if we're sending out stuff that's common, if we're just sending out information for the sake of sending out information, all we're doing is overwhelming them with stuff that doesn't matter, that they don't care about, that's not going to position us correctly. So every single piece of communication that is being sent to that prospective seller needs to have purpose.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and Chris, I love this third precept, and that is set up your listing appointment and presentation, because here's the thing, is that you are preparing the seller and yourself for what's about to happen when you show up at their home.
Yeah.
And if you set them up, here's what happens is you're setting yourself up for success.
Right.
And so the better we can get at setting ourselves up for success and educating our clients about what's about to happen, that's another place where we sabotage our competition as well, Chris.
All right. So I see some folks wanting to see some real examples here. So let's just dive in. We're going to take a look at this pre-listing packet email. Now, I've decided to do this to communicate all of these major components in the form of email for a few reasons. One is it's easier.
Yeah.
Two, it allows me to use multiple modes or multiple formats of media, right? So it's not just a printed flyer or printed brochures.
You can't print a video, can you?
You cannot print a video. That's exactly right, Gary. And that's one of the problems, is that, you know, if you're just using non-digital tools, they don't get to experience the media that they are used to using, right?
And in fact, they don't get to experience the media you're going to use to market their home.
So I'm using, we use it's an email, and the email is broken into 5 different parts. Now, I know you can't read this email yet, but don't worry. We're going to examine each one of these 5 parts in great detail. But I wanted to give you a high-level overview of what's included with these 5 parts, right? So the first thing that we include there is what I refer to as confidence links. Confidence links. These are links to information, resources, videos, whatever you want to call, anything that you believe is going to build confidence in that person. When they click on that link and what they see, what they read, what they view, it's going to build up their confidence in your competence and in your skills, in your ability, increasing then their ability to trust you, right? So that is the first section within this pre-listing packet, is we need to share resources, tools, information that specifically build their confidence in us before we even show up.
Yeah, because what you're doing here, Chris, is you're preemptively building trust with them.
Yes.
And the more trust that we have built with them before we walk through the door, the more likely they are to hire us. And here's a tip, Chris, is that it's actually more likely when you do this that they're not even going to contact another agent to interview.
Right. So let's take a look. You know, I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to see if I can get rid of this top. I can't, someone was asking to make it full screen. Here's the thing. We're going to zero in so you can see more of this information, but I got to be careful. And the reason is, if I mess things up too much on the presentation, I'll crash everything. And you guys don't want that to happen, hopefully. So let me turn this hiding on, and there we go.
There you go,
That's as
Kelly.
big as I can get it, folks.
I hope that helps you, Kelly.
All right, so confidence links. The second thing that we need to talk about, guys, in our pre-listing packet information is property marketing. I'm going to give you some reasons, some like really powerful reasons why. At this point, just know that we have a section in our pre-listing packet to talk about marketing the seller's home. Okay, that's what they're hiring us for.
That's what they're interested in.
That's
right?
what they want us to do.
So let's address it.
So if you don't talk about marketing the home, like, there's a huge break in terms of what they're looking for versus what we're trying to offer. The next thing that we're going to talk about in this pre-listing packet, or what we're going to provide, is something that I borrow from the HR, the human resources world, which is called onboarding, right?
Yeah, but Chris, they're not clients yet.
Well, you start treating people like a client before they are client, and guess what happens? They become a client.
Yeah, absolutely.
So client onboarding, onboarding refers to the process, and normally it refers in the human resource world of being able to take an employee and get them up to running, get them from 0 to 60, get them to performing, right, in a much faster timeline, because normally it takes someone like about a year to become a proficient, and what you're trying to do is decrease that timeline. Well, the same concept here applies to being a client or even being a prospect. if you want a prospect to perform like a client, what do we need to do? We need to educate them. We need to equip them. They need to know what we have to offer and how to work with us. So I'm going to show you a very cool client onboarding tool that we use as part of our pre-listing packet. Now, the next thing that we're going to include is some seller homework.
And I love this part. And here's why, Chris, is because the more I can get them to actually do something to prepare for our appointment, it actually, there's this time spent principle. And that is making sure that they spend time working with me. So it's almost like we're already working together.
Gotcha. So then the last thing is the PS.
Why is this so important?
Sometimes this is the only thing people read.
Yeah, that's true. So, I'm guilty.
They scan that and then they get to the punchline at the bottom with the PS. And so here's the thing. We don't have a signed agreement with them yet.
Right.
I'm not expecting them to read verbatim every single thing. That's just not realistic. What they're doing is, like most people, they're scanning, and they're scanning for what seems important to them. They're scanning for, something to click on or to read on that catches their interest or attention. They know that one of the things that we have to remember, and this is a hard pill to swallow for people for all of us in real estate, is that normally, when you look at the consumer, their work with us, it's not like it's the way they view going on vacation. They're not excited necessarily to be working with us.
No, and in fact, I think they're preparing for pain.
Right? I mean, here's the thing. It's difficult to sell a home,
yes.
Right? And we are associated with that difficulty. Now, we hope to be the person who solves it all. But before we do, they look at it like, oh man, I'm going to have to hire a realtor to be able to help me do this. So they don't view working with us the same way they may look forward to their vacation to Fiji. It's just going to be different. Mm-hmm. They're going to be excited to go Fiji. They're going to be kind of apprehensive about working with us. So it's not like they're reading everything like, oh man, I can't wait to get this appointment down. No, we got to rely on being able to give them the goods to be able to hit on those primary concerns. And that's what this whole pre-listing packet email is designed to do. Now, I promised we're going to be able to go into each section of this, right? I wanted to give you the high level, and now we're going to dive into each one of these sections. In some cases, we're using actual templates that we link to in the email, so they can go see more of that template by clicking into it. All right? So the first section was the confidence links. Well, what are confidence links? In this email, let's just read it. I'm just going to read it here. Hi, Gary. As a reminder, our appointment is this Friday at 6 p.m. Before we meet, please complete each of these 4 simple activities to make the most of our time together. Okay, right. So that's the introduction. Bolded is our appointment this Friday at 6 p.m.
That's a big thing. Chris, I can't tell you how many times before I started sending this out, I might show up to a house and they might or might not be there.
I know. You got to treat it like any other appointment. Sometimes you got to harass people. Here's the thing. People do the same thing to their dentist, right? I have a friend who's a dentist. He's always making sure that he has his people call everybody who's scheduled to have an appointment that day just to make sure they show up.
Because it's very costly if we spend our time to prepare and we go and we show up. Well, we just lost that time. We can't get it back.
So now the confidence links are embedded here where it says watch these videos. Now I've decided to use video for this. If you guys don't have video, that's okay. You might link to blog posts. You might link to other resources. My belief, however, is video is the most powerful way to accomplish this. And in fact, I have an example of one. I'm not going to play the whole video because it's about 2 minutes long, 3 minutes long. I'm going to share a 1-minute section of the video that we have. But I've got 3 different videos. Now, these videos are things that a seller would be interested in, right? How to market your home in the Austin real estate market. How to get your Austin home ready for sale. Home pricing strategies, right? These are all videos.
Absolutely.
So it says, please take 10 minutes and these are all short videos. They're like 2-3 minutes each. So please take 10 minutes to watch these short videos on getting you ready to sell your home. Spending 10 minutes now will save us 45 minutes later.
Yeah. Well, and here, I love this because it does save us time. It builds their trust and confidence in us. So then here, you know what happens, Chris?
What's that?
Is sometimes I will show up and I'll knock on the door and they're like, wow, I feel like I already know you. And at that point, the confidence and trust is built, and that's what you want.
All right, so I'm going to play just so you can see what an example of one of these confidence links, one of these trust-building videos looks like. I've got one here from the Getting Your Home Ready for Sale. Okay, so like I said, I'm not going to play the whole thing because otherwise, it's a couple of minutes long. I'm just going to play about 30 seconds, maybe a minute of it, so you can get a sense of what are we including here. And here's what you're going to see is we're going from simple email to high-level media that really works to build trust and confidence. Let's take a look.
Okay. Hi there, this is Gary Kreth.
And Chris Scott, and we're with Kreth & Scott Homes here in Austin, Texas. And we are here to answer the question, what should I do to prepare my house for sale? What do I need to do to get my home ready for sale?
Maybe nothing. But more than likely, perhaps quite a bit. So, if you are looking to gather top dollar for your home investment, you've got to make sure that you have your home prepared to attract the most number of buyers to generate the highest number of offers. So, what do you need to do to prepare your house? Number one, repairs. You've got to make sure that your house does not look like it's in disrepair, because if a buyer comes into your house and you have cracks in your ceilings or you've got stains on the carpet, it automatically makes them think that you didn't take care of your house.
Well, it's funny, a little crack in the wall and they think there's a cracked foundation.
Exactly. So make sure that you go through your home with your real estate professional and a fine-tooth comb, and make sure that you complete all of the repairs required to make your home really shine. So that's one, is repairs. Next, staging. It is really critical to stage your house in a way to where a home buyer...
And we're back, Gary.
Yeah, oh, hold on. There we go. We're going to share your screen again, Chris. But yeah, that's a prime example of what we can use to build confidence with our clients.
All right. So are you guys tracking what we've done here? Is the first section in this pre-listing packet email is links to build confidence. Hence, therefore, the section is called confidence links. And for us, what we've done is we've chosen to use videos that we've got hosted on YouTube, right? So that's just videos that we have on our YouTube channel. And here's the thing. What we're doing is we're sharing our expertise. We're sharing our knowledge. Here's why video is so powerful, guys, is that they are getting a sense of what it's like to work with us before we show up on appointment.
But how awesome is that? Because, Chris, one thing I know is sellers have no idea what's about to happen on a listing appointment. So if we start educating them before we show up, it builds trust, there's confidence, and like you said, we have a series of videos that they can watch to prepare them.
Now, this particular video, I mean, this thing has been seen almost 25,000 times. Here's what happens, Gary, is when they don't know what to expect. They don't, if it's a past client, maybe they know us. If it's a referral, they don't truly know us. And so what we're doing is we're showing them what it's like. We're giving our expertise. We're showing them what it's like to work with us. Who else goes onto a video sharing what they know? An expert does. And that's what we're trying to do, is position ourselves significantly higher. Now, Gary, when you go on a listing appointment, right? And we've sent this information out. What do they always say once they greet you at the door?
Well, they say, wow, I feel like I already know you. And in fact, I've had this, Chris. Somebody has said, I feel like I'm meeting a celebrity because I've seen every single one of your videos.
So video is very powerful at accomplishing this. You talk about acquiring, getting to that expert status in their mind. See, when they view us as experts, when they value and place a premium on our expertise, they will not come back to us asking for a discount on our fees.
In addition to that, Chris, I no longer have to combat them to stage and prepare their house, because here's what happens. You remember, as you said, we have to mirror what happens in this pre-listing packet to our listing presentation. Well, when I go through the listing presentation, we talk about pricing and preparation and everything like that. They're like, oh, yeah, we remember that from your video. And at that point, I'm like, okay, this is fantastic.
So what happens is, talk about confidence going up. When they greet you at the door like you're a celebrity, I mean, that's like an automatic strut, syndrome maker.
Well, it is, because it not just builds their confidence, Chris. It builds my confidence in myself and in what I'm about to do. No longer do I think, oh, why should they hire me over somebody else?
All right, so property marketing. In this section of the pre-listing packet email, we say this, pretty straightforward. Review my property marketing plan. Marketing your home is one of my biggest jobs, and I take it seriously. We will discuss my marketing plan for your home when we meet, and then simply there's a link to the actual property marketing plan, which is just the laundry list of things that we're going to do to market and sell their home.
But Chris, this is, I know you dedicated just one line to it.
Yes.
This is probably one of the most powerful things that we send them, because what it does is it prepares them to understand every single thing that we are going to do that is either common or very unique in order to market their house for top dollar.
This is so important to do, is to include a marketing plan for that home. And here's why. Hopefully what I'm about to share with you should shock you. Okay. So 76% of home sellers abandon their previous agent. Meaning, here's what that means, is that if you helped somebody to buy a home, 76% of the time, they don't hire you to sell it.
I was wondering where my abandonment issues came from.
Here's the thing. Even if you sold their home in the past, 76% of the time, they're hiring somebody else.
Yeah.
And that should be so, like a lot of times, most of us don't track that. This is according to the National Association of Realtors, profile home buyers and sellers, and they ask sellers, hey, did you hire the previous agent that you work with? 76% of the time, the answer is no. And that should shock us a little bit. But what it really should do is beg the question, well, why is that? Right? Well, if you're not including information on how you're going to uniquely and
aggressively,
in a superior way, in a way that shows them how you're going to market that home better than other people, you're missing on the one thing, the number one priority task that they're hiring us to do. So same report, according to the National Association of Realtors, is that home sellers want us, the number one thing they want us to do is to market the home to potential buyers.
Right. And if we don't show them exactly what we're going to do, here's what they think. They think that we're just like everybody else, and we're just going to put a sign in the yard, put the home in the MLS, and pray that it sells. And that's the number one reason they ask you to discount.
Two stories here, guys. Two relevant stories. One is a good one for Gary, and one is a sad one for Gary. Let's take the sad one first. So, Gary was playing poker with a friend of his probably for about 7 years. He was part of a poker group.
Every single week for 7 years.
And he asked you to list, to come on over to list his home, right?
That's absolutely right. So I went over. I sat down. I didn't even sit down with him. I said, hey, well, let's just take a look and see what you need to do to prepare your house. We walked around, and I'm like, hey, you want to go out on the lake? Let's go grab a beer and a burger on the lake. He's like, sure. So I didn't sit down and talk to him about everything that we're going to do to market their house. The very next week, I show up to his house for poker. Another realtor sign is in his front yard. I honestly thought he was joking. I thought he was joshing me, and which is funny because his name is Josh. But I thought he was joshing me, and so I walk in. I'm like, oh, dude, that's funny. He's like, what are you talking about? I said, you hired that other agent? He goes, yeah. I said, why? He said, well, they're going to market my house online, and that's where I need it marketed. I said, dude, that's what I do. He said, well, I didn't know.
And whose fault was that?
Mine.
Yeah, because he didn't tell him. Right. Here's the thing. On the flip side, you have a really great success story from sending this very same piece of information, this property marketing plan out.
Yes.
And so this was more recently, and it was like in the last couple of years, where there was a listing where, was it like 6 or 7 other agents?
7 other luxury realtors, all I know, all highly competent, were going out to compete for this luxury home.
Mm-hmm.
We sent this out before I showed up for the listing appointment. I show up and we review everything. I thought it was a great listing appointment, and they signed the listing agreement. And here's what I do. I always ask, why did they choose me over these 7 other highly competent agents? You know what they said? You sent us this 8-week, they called it go-to market plan, and it blew us away. And then what we did is we were listening to the other agents to see what they're going to do, and we're ticking off in our head that, oh, well, Gary's doing all these things, and these other agents aren't doing it. So obviously, if you can do this, that's what we need.
So I think what's important here is to understand what's taking place. Is first off, it's what they want us to do, right?
Yep.
They want us to market them because they don't know how to do that, right? Here's the other thing. We are now, because we know that that's what they want us to do, we are turning marketing into a competitive advantage.
It is, because we're using marketing to start making promises about how we're going to take care of exactly what we know they want from us.
Right. So instead of using, I saw someone saying here, some people are offering free inspections, free staging, etc. Like we're not trying to compete on these things. Rather, we're trying to compete on what matters most to the seller. What matters most to the seller is that we market the home. Mm-hmm. So rather than try to compete on things that are of lesser importance, is you drive home the fact that you're going to do this in a unique and creative and innovative way to get in front of more people, to attract more buyers, right? To create an auction-like environment that just putting in the MLS, just putting a sign out there is not going to produce.
Right?
Unfortunately, free inspection is not going to bring in more buyers. That's just, you're talking about $300, right? This is what is the advantage here, which is I'm going to use marketing, and it's an innovative way, and it speaks directly to what they're looking for, right? If they had put something else there that was important, like even, what's interesting when you look at this list, negotiating and dealing with buyers is 6th on the list.
Right.
I would have thought that was significantly higher, but sellers look at like, I don't know how to do that. Maybe they think they kind of know how to negotiate. Maybe here's what I know. Other things I know. It says the third thing is to help price the home competitively. I know they already think they know what the price of the home is.
They think they know what the house is worth. So we need to actually, like Chris said, use all of our marketing. And by the way, great questions. I see this laundry list of questions coming in. Keep them coming because we're going to address those in Q&A.
Okay. Yeah. So the next section is I talked about this onboarding, right? The onboarding
human
of a
resources
customer,
onboarding.
right? So we want to onboard our clients with a template. But let me read to you this section of the pre-listing packet email first. So download your client welcome kit. That's what we're calling this. The client welcome kit is this onboarding template that we're referring to, okay? And so as a new client, is it not advancing on the slide?
It's frozen, so hold on. We're going to stop the share. And
let me just stop it real quick, turn off screen share.
And then let's start it again.
Share it again. Okay. Every now and then, the screen share gets a little clogged up. So no need to worry, guys. We're back online. So here's what the email reads. Download your client welcome kit. As a new client, you're entitled to all the benefits my firm offers. They are outlined in your client welcome kit. You also find information and resources to help you move. Feel free to share a copy with people you know personally. And then when they click on the link, here is what they're going to see. It is a document. It's this onboarding document. We call it a client welcome kit. And what is it designed to do? This is to welcome the client.
Welcome them as a new client. Talk about all of the benefits of working with us. Talk about all of the services that we offer. Talk about how we differentiate ourselves. I know you're going to go through this. We're
going to go through it.
But I just wanted to share with you the power behind this because, and in fact, Chris, where did this come from?
Let's see, I learned about this from a different industry, right? So in the dental world, the use of a client welcome kit is pretty common, right? For advances. So one of the things they might give you is a cool toothbrush. They give you some cool toothpaste. They give you stuff because when you go in there for your first appointment and you walk out of there like with all this cool stuff where you've got more information, it's really hard not to go back to them, right? And so this idea of being able to equip somebody with some cool information, with cool resources, with cool tools, right, makes it to where now all of a sudden, let's say they hadn't been committed to you yet. First, they see you as an expert because of the videos that they saw. Next, they see you're speaking to their language of what they want you to accomplish through property marketing. And now they see that that you are treating them already like a client. This is an assumptive close. We call it, Gary calls this an assumptive close in the sales process because they may be a prospect, but we don't have a signed agreement with them. It's not until they have a signed agreement. So let's go ahead and start treating them like a client. I actually would send this, consider sending this out to everybody that once or twice a year. But let's take a look at what's in here.
Sure.
So first things first,
got to talk about us a little bit, but not in a boring way.
No.
Actually, bring in some personality here. Why did I become a real estate professional? How long have I been doing this? Where do I live?
Right.
What's my favorite restaurant? And some things that people are surprised to learn about me. This actually is different than, back in the day when I first got into real estate, Chris, I got sold this leaflet with, boasting about how awesome I am and all my awards. And clients didn't care about that.
Here's the thing, Gary. People must know, like, and trust us. You guys know this. Now, does anybody like a braggart? No, they don't like that person. So what we need to do is to share information that makes us more likable.
Right.
And that's what this is designed to do is, yes, we need to share our expertise. But what we don't want to do is become, people, oftentimes you get into this situation where someone might say, they're competent, but I don't really like them. I like this other person. I think I'll go with that person instead just because it'll be easier to work with this individual, right? And so we got to make sure. Most people, if they get to know you a little bit, they're going to start to like you. So, it's okay to add some personal aspects to this, which is what we've done here because we're really trying to get to tap into the know, like, and trust us portion of it. And we really haven't addressed anything, anything else that would allow them to like us at this point. So this is the first introduction they have to, oh, you know what, Gary, I actually like that guy. He's got some of the, he goes to the same restaurant.
He's a normal kind of guy.
Yeah, I like that guy, right? And we want that. It's actually in Robert Cialdini's book, The Principles of Influence, one of the 6 principles of influence is called liking. It's simply people are more likely to hire you if they like you, right? So send stuff out to get people to like you. Don't be, anonymous to people.
And also don't be braggadocious.
Yeah. Next thing we want to do is, and this is something that you'll see consistently throughout everything that we do, is education. We're always trying to educate the customer, whether it's in our marketing, whether, Gary, you're going on a listing appointment, heck, whether you're updating the seller on what's going on, you're always educating so that they are equipped, they have the knowledge that they need to make the right decisions, and then they value our expertise when we share it with them, right? And so in this case, I've got more YouTube videos that I link to for home buying resources. I've got home buying advantages, why they should work with us instead of somebody else, right? You might say, well, why are you including buying information in there when it's a seller? Well, maybe they got a home to buy.
Or maybe they know somebody else who needs to buy
Or they know somebody else, right? I like to put in here easy ways to engage us by putting offers of help in a productized fashion, right? So this home buyer direct access program, it's simply just sending them updates on what's for sale on the market and then giving them access to the home buyer hotline, i.e. your cell phone. So, there's nothing like crazy going on here in terms of the service that we provide, but this is just how we would take care of any of our clients, but I'm packaging it up so it's easy for someone who's like, oh, I would like to work with you. This is an offer that I can take advantage of, right? Of course, we got to address the home selling issues, particularly in this case, because
that's what they're hiring us to do.
That's the whole goal, right? So we want to give them some of the advantages of working with us. What we do differently. When we say advantages, it's what are we going to do differently? What are we going to do to be able to, that they're going to be interested in, that we offer? Of course, education. We want to be able to educate them as much as we possibly can. There were some earlier links in those confidence links educating, but I just like to keep providing more and more information, because all it takes is one click on the, here's the crazy thing and why I like to use video. All it takes is one click to video for them to get sucked in, right? So they start watching a video. Next thing they're sucked in 10 minutes, 20 minutes later, they're like, wait a minute, I got to go cook dinner. I've been watching this guy, Gary, talk for the last 20 minutes and I'm going to end up burning my steak. So, but that is good for us because it's so engaging and they start to trust us. And so that's why I tend to use more video-based links. Now, if you're not comfortable doing video or you've never done video yet, I highly encourage you to start doing something. But here's the thing. You can also link to blog posts or even articles from the National Association of Realtors can be a benefit there. In the same way that I made it easy for people to take advantage of working with us to buy, I also package up a listing appointment as our expert home value analysis. So this is just a listing appointment, but we're just giving it some structure, right? Or giving it some terminology that makes it unique.
Again,
right?
Educating them about what's going to happen during our appointment together so they're more knowledgeable. And here's, what I love about this, Chris, is you circumvent your competition by educating them about what should happen during a listing appointment. And then when that doesn't happen, if they're interviewing another agent, they're like, well, they didn't do what we just learned is supposed to happen.
Here's the thing. This is actually a branding concept, right? And so what do most people call this? They call it a free consultation, or I give you a consultation, okay? So you ever notice how like Starbucks doesn't have small, medium, and large? Yeah. They have, what is it, tall, like even the small is tall, right? Grande and venti. And when you go to Starbucks, like, that they've got their own language for this. And so
did you know, Chris, that they took it even further? They had a leaflet when they first came out of how to order a drink at Starbucks. They educated their clientele on what to say. And
what? Onboarding that's client onboarding right there.
It is.
That's a perfect example of client onboarding. Here's what we're doing is we're taking something that would normally be ho-hum. I provide consultation into, let me give you an expert home value analysis. Here's what's included with it. Comprehensive pricing assessment, so on and so forth. We also want to make sure we educate them on what they can expect in terms of ongoing communication with us. So I let them know that we're going to be sending them monthly reports. So you know what? I noticed that my slides have slowed down. Oh, there we go. That we let them know that we're going to be sending them monthly reports. And now these monthly reports are things, it's just useful information that we send out every month. Think of it as a newsletter of sorts. However, We don't buy into the traditional concept of a newsletter. We like to create information and go deeper into a specific topic. Like, so in this example, you'll see this real home value calculator. So each month we go into a specific topic and we send this out to everybody we know. In this case, what we're trying to do is just let our prospective client know that, hey, when you sign up with me, here's everything that's going to happen. You're going to get these reports. And another service that I provide is I can refer you to my professional network.
I love this one too. And people might be you might be asking yourself, well, I don't have a professional network.
Ooh, everybody does.
Absolutely you do. Anybody that you would refer a seller to that they might need help with is part of your professional network. And by offering this, I used to call this my concierge service. And, it makes people feel really good that they have access to me to go get access to my list of trusted professionals.
Well, this is actually a really big deal. This is a service that everyone should offer. And here is why. When somebody is going to go hire, let's say, a service professional, maybe it's a painter, maybe it's a carpenter, heck, maybe it's a lender. Here's the thing. They have to go spend time researching, which could literally take hours researching to find somebody that they think they might be able to trust. What you're doing is, because if they already trust you, you're saving them hours of time by just being able to say, look, hey, I trust this group of people. You should work with any one of these guys, you're going to be good, right? That is saving them time, and that's how you provide great value, because as part of your business, you have to work with lots of different vendors and service providers just during the normal process of a transaction, right? You got people taking care of landscaping. You might need to get some work done around the house. Maybe handyman service. Well, it's not just when people are buying or selling a home that they need these. It's always something that comes up.
Absolutely. Chris, anytime somebody relocates to Austin, they actually need a lot of help with, gosh, you know what? We had a kid. We need a pediatrician.
Right.
A pediatrician? Gosh, we need a dentist. Hey, what's the best restaurant in town? Where's the best grocery stores?
Yeah.
Like, if you have that outlined already, and these businesses and professionals are already in your network, and you educate people about this, how awesome do you look?
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. I would suggest that you have conversations with the people that you're going to refer.
Yeah, I think so.
Right? So, if you're going to be referring a painter, and they should know that you're referring them on the regular. In fact, you should have a conversation with them, even asking them, hey, what's the best way for me to refer you to my customers? Because I oftentimes need somebody
we
that
can
they
actually
trust.
get into that in Q&A, because that's a really valuable thing.
Make it easy for them to get a hold of you.
Yep.
All right. And bada boom, bada bing. That's the onboarding. We call that the client welcome kit. And that's how you start to, you look at everything now that we've provided them. We've given them links to confidence. We've talked about property marketing, and we've gotten into giving them information that they're going to be interested in. By the way, the whole client welcome kit, it's a referral tool. So when you give that to somebody and they're going to refer you, now they've got a tool to refer you to somebody else. And the person who's buying or selling a home, when they're in transaction, when they're in the transaction with us, is when they are most likely to refer us, because it's always top of mind.
Yep.
And whenever they run into somebody, what are the conversation they having? Oh, we put our home on the market. We're selling our home. We're moving. We bought this house.
Talk about top of mind, Chris. Every single time they pull in their driveway, whose name do they see? And on a big sign right there. And you want them correlating that to really good service, and also thinking about, how else can we help Gary?
Right. And so by just giving them that client welcome kit, they now have a tool to refer, and let them know, hey, feel like in the email, I think I said, feel free to share this with the people that you know personally, so that it becomes a referral tool. That person gets educated, and they also have a way to get a hold of you. Now, but we're not done yet. So, Gary, you mentioned this whole homework thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And with homework, what we're doing within the body of this email, I've got section 4, homework. Homework item number 1, please reply to this email sharing your home's best features, improvements, and selling points. I will use this to create compelling marketing to attract buyers. Homework number 2, please reach out to your lender and get the current loan balance. We'll use this info to calculate what you'll net from your home's sale after we assess your home's pricing strategy.
Yeah.
If you have any questions prior to appointment, let me know. So what are we doing here with homework? Why are we asking for them to do something for us?
Well, so what we're doing is we want, again, the assumptive close. I'm going to bring that in. We want to assume that they're going to hire us. And so what we want to do is we want to go ahead and start working together before that listing appointment. So we're already treating them as if we're working together.
Gotcha.
Because I'm going to have them do some homework. Additionally, there's a principle called time spent principle. And the more time that we can have them doing things that are related to us and our future appointment, here's what happens. The more likely they are to not interview other agents and hire us. Because here's the thing, the more they do this homework for us, they might be thinking, well, we might have to do this again for another agent. Well, we don't want to do that. So we're getting them really engaged here, and we're making them feel like they're a client already. And we did that through step number 3 as well, right? The client welcome kit, that onboarding process. We're doing it there. We're doing another assumptive close here with homework. And so we're just drawing them in.
Yep. Well, here's the thing. If you're the only one who asked them to do something, let's say they are interviewing other people, but they actually do the work. When you show up on an appointment, you now have something to collaborate on. So, you're going to ask them, hey, did you get, I saw that you sent that information. Let's talk a little bit about some of your home's best features before we actually do inspect your home.
Yep.
You're going to talk a little bit about, during the actual listing presentation portion, you're going to talk about what the loan balance is, because you want to be able to calculate those proceeds. And so now you're inviting them into collaboration, into participation, and they're not having that experience with anybody else. Usually, in most cases, a lot of people wing listing appointments, so it's sort of like, it's kind of consultative. They're not sure what's going to happen next. In other cases, maybe they do have a standard process, but it's more like stand and deliver the information. And instead, what we're doing is we're collaborating here, right? We're collaborating before we've even shown up. So when they're working on your behalf before you even meet with them for the appointment, they've already got investment. They have an emotional investment with you because they've been working and collaborating with you.
Well, at this point, Chris, when I show up for the listing appointment, they've already been educated about the process of how to prepare and price and everything their home. They've seen those expert videos. They've already learned about what it's like to work with us. They have learned about all of the services, the unique services we provide. They have that 8-week marketing plan. Now they have homework that they've completed. Boy, I show up to a listing appointment. The primary reason I started having them do homework and be prepared before the listing appointment is I wanted to spend less time at my appointment. I used to go on 2 listing appointments before they would sign because it took so long to educate and do all this stuff. Now I show up and I tell them to block out 90 minutes. Normally I'm in and out in 60 minutes.
And by the way, guys, that's how Gary was going on 6 listing appointments every single week. You don't go on 6 listing appointments a week until you've got your system nailed.
That's exactly right.
Down, right? And so what's one way to be able to buy time and buy leverage? You're getting them to do some of the work before you show up. You're sending them and you're educating them before you show up. Now, the last piece in here is that very last thing that you see on here. P.S. Check out the property marketing plan I use to attract buyers and sell homes for well above the competition's average performance, and feel free to share with anyone you know personally thinking of moving. So out of all the things that we're sending, the most important one in this email is actually that property marketing plan.
Yep.
Because if all they see is that one piece, it sets you apart because it speaks to something that they care about very, very much. And chances are no one else is sending them something like this.
2 most important things that sellers want to learn from you during your listing appointment is how much are you going to sell my house for and how fast, and oh, by the way, how are you going to do that?
Right.
And so we address that before we even show up. So when we show up, they're like, where do I sign?
Yeah. Your property marketing plan is your way to differentiate against what most sellers are concerned about, which is that most agents are just going to put a sign in the yard, they're going to put in the MLS, and they're going to pray that it sells. Well, if that is what their concern is, and they've got no reason, it's in their best interest to ask for a discount in fees or just to go discount, right? Like if that's all we're going to do. So if the only thing that they see is everything that we're going to do to be able to command a premium on their home, that's what this call to action, that's why this last piece, this PS or this call to action is just asking them to take a look at that property marketing plan. There's a link in there and it takes them to the property marketing plan that I shared with you guys.
Now, I want to share with everybody something real quick, Chris, and this is a huge success story, and that is one of our club members actually wrote me and said, I'm going on a listing appointment this week, this was several months ago, and I need something to wow them because I'm going up against the #1 agent in the town, and I've never even listed a house.
Gotcha.
So they sent this out. They showed up with this listing presentation mirroring what they sent out beforehand. Guess what? They got hired.
Of course they did.
They beat out the #1 luxury agent in that marketplace. Why? Because they followed this process.
So the last but not least, this is very, very important. So the promises that we've been setting up, we've been framing our listing presentation or framing our listing appointment. So we got to make sure the listing presentation that we have, the information that we're going to share during the listing appointment lines up with the promises that we've been making in the pre-listing packet and all along the way. So in order to accomplish this, what I'd like to do, Gary, is just share a couple of the slides, a few of the actual slides from your listing presentation. Now, Gary, you use your iPad and you use an actual digital listing presentation to be able to share this with folks, right? So you want to talk about, I'm going to just zero in on these probably 2 or 3 main slides, which is the main promise. And I think I'm going to have to unshare my screen here for a second and share it again. But I want to hit on the main promise and the main here's how we do it stuff. So let me just share my screen again. Get that to share so you guys can see the slides, and we should be back in business.
There we go. Back in business.
So this is one of the slides that you have. Like I said, we only have a few. Your whole listing presentation about 20 some slides.
It's like
right?
21, 22 slides, something like that. I lose count because it's the most important slides we're about to share with you. And what it does, these most critical slides address so many things. We're preemptively addressing any concerns they might have about discounting the commission, pricing the house appropriately, and we're removing all opportunity for them to have objections to why they will hire us. We're handling those before they become objections. So the question of will you discount your commission, well, that never even happens.
Right.
So you want me to talk about this slide?
Let's hit on this one because this one leads to the next couple, right? So this one tees up how we're going to market the home.
Well, you remember, they really have 3 questions. How much are you going to sell my house? How fast? And how are you going to do that?
So how do you talk about this?
We talk about it, and number 1, I'll give you a tip, is that I want everybody to ask a question at the beginning of every slide. So I might say something like this. So Chris, do you like statistics?
They don't lie.
They don't lie. And you know what? I love statistics, and I love these statistics particularly most because what it shows is how well I and my team are outperforming the marketplace. And what that means to you is I've always got to make sure that we're outperforming the marketplace so that we're selling your house faster and for more money than an average realtor in the city. And so let's take a look at this. So Chris, were you aware that in Austin right now, homes are selling in about 48 days? Now, I'll tell you, Chris, that's not bad. Okay, that's not bad at all. However, when you hire us at Kreth Partners, on average, we're selling homes in 16 days. Now, that's a lot faster than the average, isn't it?
Dang.
Yeah. Now, in addition to that, Chris, on average, we're selling homes for 98.25%. An average realtor in Austin is selling homes for 98.25% of their ask price in Austin. Now, I'll tell you, historically, Chris, that is not bad. However, when you hire us at Kreth Partners, on average, we're selling homes for 101.7% of ask price. Now, that is 3.45% more than the average realtor. Now, Chris, let's assume we sell your house for $525,000. What that means is, on average, we're going to earn you $18,112 more than the average realtor. Now, I don't know about you, Chris. That's a lot of money.
So now you've given them like a very specific number to put their mind around, right? So now all of a sudden they see that, oh, you've been making these promises. This is how quickly I'm going to move, and this is how much more money I'm going to make. And then you go from that slide, you lead into talking about the marketing that we're going to do. Now,
so and this is the way I say is that now naturally you're probably asking yourself, gosh, how in the world are you doing that?
Right.
Well, let's take a look at that.
And so we've got slides here talking about each phase. We have this pre-launch campaign, and this is described in that property marketing plan that we had shared in that pre-listing packet email, right? So what we're doing is we're taking, this template, our marketing plan template from the pre-listing packet email that we sent to them. We're taking this template. I'm just waiting for it to pull up on the screen there. We're taking this template, and then what we're doing, and this is like 10 pages, but we don't want to just sit here and read this with them. So what we do is during the listing appointment, we're just going to summarize what was included in there, right? Chances are they didn't read it in detail. Chances are they looked at it and were like, dang, Gary must know what he's doing. There's all this stuff in here, and it seems like he knows what he's talking about, because I don't know what most of this stuff is. A lot of times people are worried about, hey, aren't you worried about sending your property marketing plan? No, because I know most people can't do the stuff that we're going to do, because we are going to take a proactive approach. We're going to take an innovative approach. We're going to market it in lots of different places. We're going to do lots of ongoing continued marketing. And so we just address all of that right, as part of the listing presentation so that it's mirroring the rest of it. You know, you have to have consistency in promises. Anytime there's a break in consistency, there's a break in promise. When there's a break in promise, there's a break in confidence. When there's a break in confidence, guess what? We don't get hired. And so that is why it's so, so important to be able to line this all up so that you've got your promises lined up. Now, I know because we've been sharing a bunch of like presentations and templates and stuff like that, people are oftentimes asking, hey, how do we get access to some of those templates that you were sharing? There's two specific templates that we were talking about. I had shared our listing presentation template, right? So that was one of the templates that I had shared with you guys. I also, let me just unshare my screen here real quick, share it again. There was also,
by the way, Chris, I started a poll. Yeah. I wanted to find out how many people actually want these templates.
So we have our listing presentation template, which we normally sell for like $967.
Yep.
I also have our client welcome kit template, which is something that we also sell for normally something like $597. I've got a special offer for you guys today if you want to get those templates. You can get those templates for free when you join our marketing club, okay? So you can get that client welcome kit template as well as Gary's listing presentation template. So not just the slides that we share today, but the whole thing when you join our marketing club. Now, we created our marketing club to help you stand out and get recognized for your expertise using tools, technology, and marketing. Making real estate fun is what I like to say. Our club is designed to do a couple of different things. You know, the first thing is that our club is designed to help you get clients on demand. Our club is designed to get you consistent, predictable income because you're getting clients on demand. Our club gives you the systems to replicate leads and save time. Our club is also going to help you get recognized for your great service because we want clients to place a premium on our expertise. That was one of the themes for our conversation today, was being able to get clients to place a premium on our expertise, and that is what our club is designed to do. Our club does this through this 5-step career acceleration plan. You know, the first thing that we're going to do is that we're going to work with you to build a powerful online presence so that you look just as good as the top listing agent in your market, right? When people go to Google you online, you look just as good as those top agents in your market. Our club is also going to help you market to your base so that you never lose a listing, so that you never lose a client to the competition, right? We want to market to our sphere of influence. We're going to market to anybody and everybody who is in our natural realm and our natural sphere. We want to make sure we market to them so we don't lose them to the competition. Our club is going to help you ace every listing appointment. It's going to help you scale and replicate leads on demand. It's going to help you put your practice on autopilot. And our club does this through the following ways. The first thing is you get new training every single month, right? We're going to give you training in a similar format to this, but a little bit more intimate, you being able to ask questions and us being able to answer them, where we're going to give you additional training on listings and marketing and social media and tools and productivity. Our club is also going to give you marketing campaigns and marketing materials every single month, which includes blog posts, marketing emails, social media posts, marketing and advertising templates that are going to get delivered to you every single month. Our club also gives you a SEO-friendly marketing website so that you always look good online. We're going to automatically post a blog post there for you every single month. It includes property pages or property landing pages to help you market listings and even pages to help you generate leads. Our club is also going to give you access to our tools and resource library with hundreds of tutorials, instructional videos, implementation plans, and how-to guides. Gary, I went and found a couple of new or recent testimonials and feedback that we've gotten from some of our clients. You know, one of the things that Teresa says to us, it says, you guys have made me a rock star. I've been in the business since 1992.
Love it.
And never had a plan. I could faithfully follow that works. Can never thank you enough and love the new book. Raisa says, I've worked with a lot of other companies. I've signed up for the Paperless Agent a month ago, gotten so much more value than I expected. They have an awesome system for agents that is the way different than anyone else's that is out there. I've got one more report from Teresa. Teresa says, I want to say a huge thank you to the Paperless team. Thank you, Gary, Jordan, and Chris, and the whole team behind the scenes. We actually tripled our income in 2017 over 2016. We sold over $9 million, all because we followed that plan. Now, you might be wondering, how much does this cost? Well, here's the thing. it would cost you literally hundreds of dollars every single month to be able to get marketing materials, a marketing website, templates and training. And to get recognized in your marketplace as an expert, you can't even put a price on that. But to get each one of these features alone will be roughly $100 a month. But here's the thing. You can join our club. You can join our club for only $67 today, right? So you can join our club for $67 today. You can easily cancel, hassle-free, no questions asked. There's no contract or commitment. When you sign up today, I've got one last special bonus gift, which is our property marketing plan template. It's going to show you it's going to show your listing prospects how you stand out in the market as a listing expert agent. It's the same one that I shared with you guys today during the presentation. Let me just take a moment to unshare and share again, because sometimes my screen's been acting a little funky. But I'm going to give you, when you sign up right now, our property marketing plan template so you can show listing prospects how you stand out as a listing expert agent. Like I said, it's the same one that I shared with you. This template's going to be in Pages as well as in Microsoft Word, so you can go there and edit it. I don't want you to just take it and have to work with it so much. Take out the things that you're not doing, add in the things that you are doing, and then you are good to go to be able to send that out to your clients. And so you can get all of these things. You can get Gary's listing presentation template. It also includes the scripts to use for each one of the slides. You get our client welcome kit template and our property marketing plan template. And all you have to do is click on that turquoise button on your screen there that says Join Club Now to get signed up. Please sign up right now so you can get those property marketing plan templates before the day gets away from you. Now, I will say this, and I wanted to spend a little bit more time going back about this process that we're going to walk you through, because, Gary, we have a number of clients who've had great success here, right? So being able to go through and walk through this 5-step process. We have a number of clients who've gone through this 5-step process and given us some phenomenal, like, reported back great results. What we were trying to accomplish here is by giving you these tools, giving you these resources, giving you these benefits from the club, it's designed to take your career and go through these 5 steps, right? First thing you need to do is to build a powerful online presence. I can't think of anyone better than this than our very own club member, Mary Anglin, out of West Covina. And one of the first things that she started doing when she engaged and started working with us was to start working on building that online presence. And what she found very quickly was that as soon as she started interacting with clients, she found that they had started to see her and they knew her and they knew more about her online, which fueled her to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to use using an online presence as sort of one of my differentiation points. Because here's the thing, everybody Googles you. And, everybody's going to Google you.
Even if you've worked with them in the past, they're still going to Google you before they meet with you. Now, step 2, Chris, market to your base. Hillary Gaynor is another. Hillary's a club member, and what she did is she was selling about $3 million a year, and she was really frustrated with that and started marketing to her base consistently. She went over a 9-month period. She went from $3 million a year to $3 million a month.
Just by marketing to her base.
Just by marketing to her base consistently. And by the way, in this club, we give you all of the marketing materials necessary in order to market to your base.
Yeah. Well, another great example would be John Diaz on Acing Every Listing Appointment. He took your exact listing presentation and went from, competing, he's in California, right? He went from competing against the discounts and then now being able to command a serious premium.
He's charging a premium in a place where people were asking him to discount his commission. Now he's walking in and he's walking out with signed listing agreements at 6, 7, or 8% commission. So that guy has mastered acing that listing appointment and sending out all of this pre-listing packet information. He just shows up like a boss now.
And scale and replicate leads. I think this is something where we have so many of our clients who have great success because they're using tools like Facebook. They're using tools like Google Ads. They're using tools like video. They're using tools like their website, and they're using these so that they can start to use these tools and maybe a little bit of budget to buy some of their time back. Because, once you're marketing to your base, that's the low-hanging fruit, and then you're starting to ace every listing appointment, so you're not losing any opportunities. Well, now we can put this and start to scale it so we get more opportunities. Because when you do, you can begin to to begin to put parts of your real estate practice onto autopilot, which simply means taking the stuff you don't like to do and either having tools to do it or having people do it or using money to do it.
Yeah,
right?
there's so many things in my real estate business I don't do any longer because number one, I'm not great at it. And number two, I just want somebody else to do it so it frees my time up. So when you sign up today, I'm going to answer Jorge. He said, is the pre-listing packet included? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, Jorge. Today, you're going to get our listing presentation templates. That's my listing presentation I have worked over 22 years perfecting. Additionally, you're going to get the client welcome kit templates where you're going to be able to download that, customize it to yourself, and follow our pre-listing packet process. And when you sign up right now, you're going to get our property marketing plan templates. That is what really blows the clients out of the water and will help you secure and differentiate yourself.
And those components that's what was in that pre-listing packet, right? Those were the pieces that were in there, so for you to accomplish it. The only part that you have to do to be able to accomplish the pre-listing packet, and it's one that I highly suggest, is get comfortable doing some video. And all you have to do is use your phone. I mean, you don't have to get super tricky and buy lots of expensive camera equipment, because you can do those videos with simply a decent, more recent phone, right, and some good natural lighting, and get yourself a little tripod or lean it up against a bottle of soda or whatever, and just start sharing what you know, and that's going to help you accomplish that. But so I know
we've got a lot of questions. Chris, I want to invite everybody, go over to the chat section over there. The link is there. It is a blue button. Additionally, I have it at the top of the chat section. Click on that. You're going to be able to get instant access to everything we just talked about. Now, when you sign up, you're going to receive an email from us so you can log in. If it doesn't show up there, it's probably hanging out in your spam folder. So with that, Chris, let's get to Q&A because, man, we've got a lot of questions to cover.
Let's do it.
Let's see. Number one, Sue says, hey, I'm in Canada. Do you have different marketing materials for Canadians?
We actually do. So whenever we address a topic within our marketing materials that is using, US based resources, we will always create a second version for our Canadian clients. So it's about somewhere between 10 and 15% of our members are in Canada, and so we want to make sure we could accommodate them. With our marketing materials, the way they're designed and the way they're set up is those marketing materials are set up to do a couple of different things. The first thing we want to do is to make sure that we are marketing to our base. This is our sphere of influence. This is our farm areas. This is really anybody that we know or that knows us. And so we give you more than just like something to send out. We give you a whole strategy and the specific tools and collateral, that marketing pieces that you need to implement that strategy every single month. The strategy doesn't change, so that's the good thing. And there's only 5 steps to the strategy. You're going to send out an email. We automatically post a blog for you, so you don't have to worry about that. You're going to shoot a short video talking about your resources. You're going to share this information on social media, and then you're going to start messaging or using voicemail services to be able to do individual contact and individual follow-up. And it's real simple, but that marketing to your base section, and we give you the marketing materials to do it, is when you do that consistently, then you will no longer have that feast or famine thing taking place. Because when you start marketing to your base on a consistent basis, what you can expect to see is, one, you are going to get more repeat business and more referral business, and that's good. But what we're really trying to do is capitalize on the whole word of mouth business, because the lion's share of the business comes from word of mouth. But we don't really do that much to make it easy for people to be able to create word of mouth business for us. And word of mouth is simply just going out and providing people in the marketplace with a reason to talk about us and making it easier for that conversation to take place. And so when we start marketing to our base in this way, we are constantly giving people a reason to talk about us, and we're making it easier to do so. Just like that client welcome kit that I shared with you guys. A tool like the client welcome kit makes it easy for a conversation about us to happen between our client and somebody that they know. And it doesn't have to just be with past clients. It can be with anybody who has some kind of personal connection with us. If they can know, like, and trust us, they don't even have to work with us before they become a word of mouth opportunity. And so that's what marketing to the base does. Now, like I mentioned, we modify that for our Canadian clients, but every month it's a different topic. It's a different theme. Right? So one month it might be on mortgages. Another month it might be on, home inspection, or how to get your home ready for sale, or how to hire a real estate professional, or home design trends, or home tech trends, right? So there's always cool real estate related information that we share, which is something that you guys are going to want to do as well. If you're sending information out to your base or to your sphere of influence and it's not real estate connected, you are not building confidence with people. Remember, we're always purposefully building trust, we're building confidence, we're building up our reputation, and that's what we're trying to accomplish with the marketing materials that we provide you with every single month, and we make it easy.
Yep, absolutely. Now, Quang is in Toronto, and Quang says, are there any proven results from people in Canada, specifically in Toronto? So yes, you know who comes to mind?
Chip Barkell.
Chip Barkell. So Chip Barkell, he came to a conference that we hosted in.
He's one of our longest clients since 2013, I want to say, or 14.
So Chip Barkell is an agent in Toronto. We hosted a conference in Mississauga, and he came there. He actually showed up 2 weeks before he even got his paper license. Yeah. So he didn't even have his license. He signed up for our club then and has been using it ever since. I think I can say this because I saw him post this publicly. He's been in our club for 5 years. Mm-hmm. This year, he's on track to sell 48 million in Toronto. Wow. So Quang, does it work in Canada? I think Chip Barkell would say, heck yes.
And Chip's one of those folks. I mean, he's taken what we provide and what we offer, and he's, innovated on top of it, which actually reminds me to let you guys know, when you join our club, we have a private Facebook group for all of our members. And Chip is one of the folks who's in there who's very active in sharing his expertise, his advice, and his experience. But there's literally thousands of years of collective wisdom in there, because you can go into our private Facebook group and ask a question, and you're going to have a whole bunch of people come in there and give you their advice. And you've got people who are, very generous with their experience, very generous with their advice, very generous with their referrals as well. So that's just one of the features that when you join the club, you're not joining by yourself in isolation. You're actually joining and becoming part of a community of real estate professionals who are looking to work towards the same types of objectives that you guys are, which is to implement these strategies, but it's to build that real estate career as a real estate professional.
All right, we've got a lot more questions. Next, Ralph says, does the club have enough assorted material that can be posted to our Facebook page?
Yeah, we do give you information to post on your business page, but we also give you some information teaching you what to really post that works with the Facebook algorithm. So we even give you some tools and a script every month to be able to help you come up. Like, we're going to give you stuff to post on your Facebook business page, and you'll use that. But if I didn't take the time to educate you on how the algorithm works and what the Facebook algorithm really wants to see, I'd be doing you a disservice. So one of the innovations that we've done for our members is to provide a short script that they can use to create a 1-minute video, and to be able to shoot a 1-minute video and put that onto their Facebook business page, which the algorithm loves. Also, because it's video, it does a huge branding, and it works in the same way we've talked about building confidence. The video does the same thing. And so, yes, we do give you posts, but we also give you the tools so you can post beyond what everybody else is doing. When you take a moment to be able to share your expertise in a short video and put that on Facebook, and maybe even go as far as to boost that to the people who are in your sphere and to the people who you're connected to, for as little as $1 a day, you're going to start seeing really great results. You want to implement, and you'll get additional training that shows you how to implement our marketing materials. We call it the MVP, or the monthly value program. That's what the vernacular that we have is. When you get in there, I've got a video. There's a bunch of training on there so you can get up and running. It's easy to do. You can accomplish this in like 5 steps. I estimate it should take you about 90 minutes a month. Like, that's not a lot of time.
90 minutes a month. That's incredible. You want to go and start producing where Hillary and John and Chip are producing in deca millions a year. That's what you got to do.
You start there, and it takes about 90 minutes a month. It's not a matter. Now, you're going to find that folks like, Chip, or, we even have Christopher Dean of the Monica Foster team out of Houston. They're the number 4 team in Houston.
They're selling like $90 million.
$92 million last year is what they sold, right? And so what you see is they start spending a lot more time in marketing, because what they've seen is, hey, I can scale and replicate this, right? I'm going to use these systems and these tools that we provide training on to be able to scale it from here's what I'm just doing on my own to now I can use tools like Facebook. Now I can use tools like Google. Now I can use tools like YouTube to put to be able to scale and replicate those leads. Now, you got to have systems, obviously, to be able to handle that, which, we provide lots of training on giving you these types of templates so that you can consolidate the amount of time and put as much as you can on autopilot, automate as much as you can in your business. But that's how you accomplish that type of result. But it all starts with taking the first step, right? It all starts with taking the first step. There's chances that you're like, I could use a few more listings right now. I saw actually when we first started here, people were asking, how do I get more listings? I'll tell you how to get listings. Use our marketing materials, send them out on a consistent basis for 90 days. That's how you get listings. That's how you get a surplus of listings.
So by the way, we recently held a training session with Hillary talking about how in the heck did she do this? And in fact, in our private Facebook group, if you're joining us today with the program and the club, make sure you click on the blue button that says Join Club Now and go sign up right now. And then go to the Facebook group and sign up there, because I actually posted a challenge. And that challenge is, who here is going to commit to sending out these marketing materials for the next 3 months to change your life? And so it's a challenge out there, and I want you to join us. So make sure you go click on that link. I've got a lot more questions here.
Yeah, actually, Jorge says, do you guys provide...
No, this is exactly, you answered the question when he asked the question as you were already answering.
That's the one. Yeah, we do give you scripts on what to use for your videos. We actually give you a script that is multi-purpose. You can use it for your 1-minute videos. You can use it for doing voicemails to your customers. You can use it for doing individual follow-up. In the old days, we would have said, hey, pick up the phone and call these folks. Not as important necessary anymore, but we do provide you with the ability to be able to make it easy so that you can deliver. Ultimately, what you're trying to do through your marketing materials is have, what's the word that we keep saying today? Consistency. Consistency. So we want to have consistency in our marketing so we can implement what we refer to in the marketing world as omnipresent marketing. So when you're doing this marketing to your base and sending all this information out and it's related to the same theme or the same concept, you're implementing omnipresent marketing, which means the people who are somehow connected to you, right? The people who are in your sphere of influence, people who know you, that you know them, people you're connected to on social media, they can't help going places anywhere online and they can't help not to bump into you. And when they bump into you, they see, they recognize, and we're trying to invoke the knowing, the liking, the trusting. The more repetition that we have with that omnipresent marketing, the more the knowing and liking and trusting takes place. And so that when it is time for them to work with us, or when they have an opportunity to refer us, we're the people who they refer.
Yep. All right, so next question. Hector says, do I receive help to enhance my online presence and reputation? Absolutely, Hector. Actually, everything that we provide you and teach you takes you through those 5 steps of that career acceleration plan. And we wouldn't be doing you a service if we didn't start with the first one, and that is having a killer online presence.
So when you sign up and you log in, you're going to see this link on your dashboard called the 5-step career acceleration plan. It's a PDF. You download that PDF, and it's going to walk you step by step to implement all 5 steps that we've talked about today. Now, you're not going to accomplish all 5 steps overnight, right? I mean, to be able to put your whole practice on autopilot, for example, that's going to take some time. But it's a pretty lengthy resource that we've got for you to be able to walk you through. Here's the thing. You may already have a powerful online presence, so you skip that section and move to marketing to your base. Maybe you've got that covered pretty well. You're just ready to dive into the listing information that we have and the tools that we have. So you go to that section of that career acceleration document. What I find is that over time, you're going to keep revisiting. That's what your career is going to look like, is constantly revisiting these key areas within your real estate practice, because there's going to be a point where you've got good online presence, you've got a good marketing to your base, you've got the listing stuff, and then you're scaling and replicating leads, right? So you're trying to increase that production, or you're starting to work to put your practice on autopilot, right? Whether it be, finding help, whether it be hiring a VA, whether it's getting assistant, heck, maybe you're looking at buyer's agents, or maybe you're simply looking to hire someone just to take care of some of this stuff for you, or maybe you're even taking a different approach, like Christopher Dean over in Monica Foster team. One of the things that he's been doing is he's got everything autopiloted with using Zapier, right? It's little zaps that send these emails and do this and do that, and so he's created a whole operation using a tool called Zapier.
That's mastery of autopilot,
right? And so, maybe that's the approach. But once you get there, all of a sudden you're going to realize I've got new promises to include in my online presence because I'm doing all this now. Or I've got, my marketing and my base is expanded. So I want to really increase the quality of the videos that I'm going to do, or whatever it is, right? You're going to constantly revisit this. I forget what the question was there.
It doesn't really matter because you got a lot covered. By the way, Melissa just said I signed up. Welcome, Melissa. By the way, I saw a lot of our current club members on here. If you're a current club member,
give a shout out.
Give us a shout out. Or if you're a new member, let us know I'm in. Say, I signed up. Let us know because that introduces you to everybody else here. Okay, next question, Chris. Let's see. Rory says, are there any additional monthly charges?
No, it's $67 a month. The price won't go up for you. And it's $67 a month. You can cancel anytime. No contract, no commitment. It's month to month, right? We're not going to make you stay if you don't want to. But I know, and based on the feedback that we've got from our clients, is that if you take the first couple of steps, that you're not going to want to leave, right? Because you're gonna like having all those marketing materials just done for you so that you can send them out. You're gonna like having a really easy to use website that allows you just to always look awesome. You're gonna like getting the ongoing training to always keep and give yourself that competitive advantage, that competitive edge. Whether you're learning from Gary and myself, or sometimes we bring in other experts, or sometimes we feature, members from our club, like what we've been doing recently. We featured Hillary, we featured Christopher Dean, we featured Mary Anglin. And so you can learn from the community of your peers who are killing it and crushing in a particular domain. So that ongoing education always provides that additional edge, but it's always only going to be $67 a month.
Yep. Did you hear that? It's always going to stay there. Once you join today, you're going to be grandfathered or grandmothered, whatever the case may be, into that price point. So in the future, if we do increase the price, you're set.
Yep.
So go sign up right now as we get to the next question. I want to make sure that everybody gets access to these listing presentation templates, which are normally $967. The client welcome kit templates, normally $597, and the property marketing templates, normally $697. Go over to the chat section, click on that link that says Join Club Now, or up at the top, that link. I'm also going to post it real quick into the chat section so everybody has it. Go do that as we get to the next question. And the next question is, Jenny said, how do you get your statistics? So Jenny, and a lot of people said, I'm a brand new agent. I don't have statistics. And these statistics that we talked about today are not my personal statistics. They're our teams or our brokerage's statistics. So how do you get the statistics? Go talk to your broker about how, what are our statistics and what are the city's average statistics. And those are the stats that you're going to use to put into your listing presentation template.
Yeah, pick the ones that work best. I mean, if your personal stats are better than your team or your firm's, maybe go with that. If your firm's is better than yours because you're brand new, then go with that.
Yep.
I think the important point is what you're trying to do is to be able to show there's this baseline that's in the market, right? And the baseline is all the people who are not out there with a very intentional plan to be able to set themselves apart and be able to do what that seller wants them to do, which is to market the home. So you have a baseline, and then anyone who is doing these things, just by nature of doing more than everybody else, what happens? You have a performance improvement compared to the market. That's just plain and simple. The average, you guys know the average, and if you're doing more, your numbers are going to be a little bit better. Or if your firm's doing more, their numbers are going to be a little bit better. And you're going to use that to be able to show the difference of why somebody shouldn't just go with the person who hasn't shown them that they're truly competent to sell the home. We must make sure that we stand out so they recognize and place a premium on our expertise. It's one of the things our club is designed to do, is to help you get your clients to place a premium on your expertise. Because when they place a premium on their expertise, guess what? Just like a surgeon, right? People don't hire a surgeon or go talk to their doctor and then ask their doctor, the night before they're going to go under the table.
Will you discount your fee?
Will you discount your fees, doc? I know the market average for, getting this surgery is this much, but I think you ought to charge, this is what I want you to do. People don't do that. Why don't they do that? Because they have respect and they trust and they believe that surgeon to be competent. right? Now, when they don't treat us the same way, it's because we haven't done the work to build that confidence so that they respect us. I mean, it comes down to that. If they really respected and felt like you were competent and like you were the expert at what you do, the last thing that what they're going to do is try and nickel and dime you. They're just going to be thankful that you're the one who's taking care of them. But this is all by design. You can't just show up and wing it and wing the whole process and expect for that kind of experience to happen with them to view you as the expert. You have to do it intentionally. It's how you look. It's how your presence is online. It's how they interact with you leading up to the listing appointment. So it all needs to be done by design if you want to have that if you want to command that type of respect in the marketplace.
Yeah. I love this. Charlotte signed up. Charlotte's a member and says, I'm a Central Florida member. I would love to hear from other agents in the area and maybe meet occasionally to brainstorm. That's so cool.
That is awesome.
That is awesome.
There's also a number of people who do, I know Mary Anglin has done this. There's a bunch of sort of like accountability groups that our members have just created. You can reach out to do accountability. One of the things that I find is we all know the stuff that we're supposed, particularly when it comes to like lead gen, right? When it comes to marketing, we all know what we're supposed to do, but we just don't do it. We get
Chris,
busy.
I always do it.
You do not.
So here's the thing.
Gary, I always do it too.
No,
I don't. We get busy just like you guys do.
Here's the thing is that we all know we get busy, and the consistency is the key. And we know that last time I checked, Chris, we're all human.
Well, and that's why we make it easier. Mm-hmm. That's still even us sending you the tools, that's going to take it about 80% of the way. You still need that last little nudge, which is why I would highly suggest that you get into our private Facebook group where there's all these other people who are doing exactly what you're doing to maintain that motivation, to be able to get that accountability, and to be able to go in there and be like, hey guys, I'm sending out my campaign first time. What's your advice, right? Yeah. Or I'm sending out my campaign. Here's what I did. Here's the results that I got. That's what you want to be able to use the community for. Be selfish with how you're using the community. You be selfish with how you're getting advice, because here's what's going to happen. As you receive the benefit, you're going to want to give back to it. Mm-hmm. So you're going to want to be able to share, well, here's what my experience was. Hey, I did this video and here's what my experience was. Hey, I sent this information out, or I did this Facebook ad, or I did this Google ad, and here's what my experience was. So, that's the benefit of being part of a community like the one that you're joining.
All right, next question. Diane Fox says, are all of these templates editable? Absolutely. And here's the thing. It doesn't matter if you're using a Mac or a PC. They're going to come out in either Microsoft or in Apple, like PowerPoint or Keynote, or whatever that may be, Word and Pages. So yes, whatever.
It's cross-platform compatible, Gary.
Woo! Boy, did you just come up with that?
I did.
I like that. Cross-platform compatible. That works. Okay. Ernelius said, how do we get the model to create or copy Gary's pre-listing package? You're going to get it when you sign up today. Yep. So make sure that you go click on that link.
Yeah, get these bonus gifts, right? Here's the thing. These are more than just, in some of these, like the listing presentation template is actually a full-on training. There's the template, but then also the full-on training on what to say and what to do, and Gary's 5-step listing appointment process. Client welcome kit, that's just easy. That's just a template that you swipe, update with your own information, and you're ready to use that. Same thing with a property marketing plan, although you will want to read that to make sure you're not making promises that you're not going to deliver on.
Yeah.
But it's also, like, let's say you have somebody who does the marketing for you. I'm sure there's a lot of you who do. Get that property marketing plan and say, do this now, right? Like, find out what we're not doing and start doing that stuff so we can make better quality promises in the marketplace. I remember the first time, the first listing appointment that I've ever participated in is what made me go out and cultivate a property marketing plan.
Oh, I remember this.
Right. So there was, we had this, I remember it was with one of our agents, Carrie, and she had gotten this expired, a home seller with an expired listing. She got him to come into the office, and man, he was cantankerous. He was mad. He was just kind of, here's the rightfully
thing.
So. He was
rightfully so because he hired somebody that he trusted. That person didn't sell his house, and now he's kind of angry.
So, like that property marketing plan in its current, as you guys see it, we didn't have that until that day. We had very different versions of it, but he had some technical skill, and so we're meeting with him, and I was telling him, here's what we do, here's what we do, here's what we do. And at the end of the meeting, he was like, I'll tell you what. You give me a marketing plan for my home, and I'll hire you guys, right?
Boy,
And I was like, well, I just gave it to you, bro. You know, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I just gave it to you, man. Now you're gonna. He was like, I'll be back tomorrow to see it. I was like, all right. So
I called you the carpet man.
I was like, all right. So I immediately went home. And I was like, I need to, like, everything that I said I was going to do, I need to document it. Like, it took me,
Did you wish that you had recorded that?
I wish, because it took me almost all night. Like, by the time I finished it, and then he was coming back like at 10 o'clock in the morning, I was like, I woke up at 8 o'clock. I was like, I'm still tired. Oh, I got to get a shower. I got to get to the office to meet this guy. Anyway, long story short, I took it, I actually printed it out so he could read it. So he's flipping through it and he was like, this looks really good. You're going to do this. You're going to do this. He's like, I always thought that this is the stuff that people should have been doing. And then he hired us and, you know, lo and behold, we sold his home. So, you know, but that was for me the first time I experienced just taking the time to document what we were going to do and being able to share that with somebody and then looking at it and saying, you know what? Based on, you know, he didn't, it's not like he read it line by line. He just looked at it and was like, dang, these people know what they're doing. And he hired us for it. So anyway, I highly suggest that you use, and all of our tools are like that. Trust me, we're not just making stuff up and then saying, hey, go try this thing. We're creating tools, we're creating resources, we're using them in our own real estate practice. And then the stuff that works or the stuff that's like, hey, this is getting a great result, that's the stuff that we turn around and share with you guys. All the stuff, and trust me, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't work. All the stuff that doesn't work, we don't bother telling you about.
Yeah. So we got another, Paul just said, the offer expired. Can you put it back up there? I want to sign up. Hold on just 1 second, Paul. Let me pop that up there. Hopefully that worked for you. All right. So, Paul, go sign up right now because we're running out of time for this Q&A session. We want to make sure that you get the opportunity to sign up and get all of the bonuses and be a member of the club. By the way, when you're a member of the club, go sign in to your portal. You're going to have the link to our private Facebook page there, so you can join there. And you're going to click, the very first thing you should do is go click on that 5-step career acceleration plan and then start learning about that. Okay, next question. My goodness. Jorge says, what is the estimated budget required in order to create that great online presence and any additional marketing expenses incurred to achieve results?
Well, it starts with only $67 a month when you join our club.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact of the matter is, so much of your online presence starts before you spend a dime. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to start doing a bunch of stuff. What you need for a really powerful online presence, and this is what's included, well, like when you go through our career acceleration program, here's what you're going to find. What is your online identity? It's your websites, it's your social media profiles, it's any review sites where you show up. Now, most of it, it's your LinkedIn profile, right? Most of us don't necessarily, we haven't spent time thinking about our online identity because we don't go Google ourselves. Trust me, if you go Google yourself, and then what you're going to find is that's the window to your online identity because that's what your clients do. Google did a study of this. Google actually went out, studied real estate consumers, and they said the majority of people, and this was several years ago, so I'm sure it's almost like 100% of people now, they went out and found out, like, hey, if a consumer's going to hire you, even if they already know you, what do? They Google you because they're trying to verify an emotion they have about you.
Chris, you used to live in San Diego, and I was out there recently, and I asked you, Chris, what's one of the best restaurants out here? You told me. You know what I did?
What?
I still went to Yelp to review it. I still went, even though I trust this guy, I still wanted to go see what everybody else says.
You just want to see what other people, because maybe Chris likes to eat funky stuff. You know what I mean? You know, maybe he's got a quirky personality and likes to eat nasty food. Who knows, right? So he wants to make sure that everyone else is like, okay, I trust Chris, but, you know, sometimes Chris has some weird habits, you know, sometimes he likes to eat weird stuff. So anyway, here's what happens. People are going to Google you, and then whatever shows up is the window into your online identity. And so what we got to make sure is everything that they click on is a good representation of us. Here's the other thing that we have to do is we need to increase the number of things that they can click on that are about us. If you were to do a quick search on Gary Kreth Austin, you're probably going to see a lot of good stuff up here. You're going to probably see some videos come up about us, right? I know because we work on it. And so, but you can do all of that before you spend any money. It's not until you get to the second phase of marketing to your base, you don't even have to spend money there, to be honest with you, right? I would suggest that you start with spending at least $1 a day in your marketing. but you don't need to break the bank there. You know, most of these things are not like it's not until you get to phase 4 where you scale and replicate leads where I would say, hey, that's probably where you want to start a budget of maybe $300 a month, right? That's where a starting point. That was the budget that I started with, was $300 a month. Now, if you can get it working for $300, you could probably scale to $3,000 a month. You're not going to start there. Trust me, I know. You don't start at $3,000 a month.
But what you're saying is that using this content consistently is going to build up your revenue enough to where you're going to have a surplus to start reinvesting.
Well, you build that surplus, and then you get to be like Christopher Dean, where he's getting 8 times ROI on Google Ads, and he's spending several $1,000s a month. Now he's got it to where the way he views it, I put $1 in, and I get 8 back. So he's going to spend as much as he possibly can that the platform will allow him to do profitably, so that he can. But that's later on. So if you're just getting started, that's something that I would aspire to. Is something where, hey, yeah, I'm like Christopher Dean at the Monoquest team getting 8 times ROI on my Google ads. That's something to aspire to. What you're going to start doing is building that online presence like Mary Anglin did. And what's going to happen is you're going to start building that online presence. You're going to start marketing to your base using the materials that we provide. And here's what will happen. Here's what I could speculate what will happen. In about 45 days, you're going to be like, man, there's something a brewing out here.
There's something a brewing.
People are starting to contact and
oh
say
my gosh,
things.
It's working.
People are reaching out to me.
So you know what happened, Chris? Is when my younger brother, he's been in real estate for a long time, wasn't staying in touch with people, wasn't working on any automation, he wasn't following a 5-step career acceleration plan. I forced him to do it. Yeah. And he started doing it. You know what happened? Within 3 months, he said, people are walking up to me everywhere saying, dude, you're crushing it. And he goes, I'm still selling the same amount of real estate, but now I'm starting to get more business because they think I'm selling. Right. And I said, it's because you weren't staying in touch, and now you are. And his business has totally transformed. So a couple more questions. Ada Murphy says, do you have information in Spanish? Well, we don't, but what you can do is you can take all this content, throw it into a translator, and then copy it and paste it back into that. So you can do that. Danelle said, I put my info in, but I have no idea if I signed up. We're going to make sure that our team over here, she's going to look it up right now to make sure that you're signed up there. So Danelle, do not leave the webcast yet, because she's going to check on that and private message you back.
Yeah, definitely check your spam folder or your promotions tab if you're using Gmail. There's a tendency for it to go to one of those places because it's the first time you're receiving an email from our payment processing / access system. So sometimes that you oftentimes will go into spam. But we're going to check right now for you to make sure. Okay.
And Paula Smith said, I finally got signed up. Welcome, Paula. Welcome everybody who is joining us in the club today. And by the way, if you're already in the club and you came back to watch this, welcome. Thanks for coming back.
Yeah, thanks for coming back. We always love seeing you.
Yeah, I know it. Chris, we've been going here for an hour and 37 minutes. And we are out of time.
We're out of time, Gary. And so what do we need everybody to do?
What we need you to do is go sign up right now. I'm going to post that link one more time. Like Paula said, I finally signed up. If you're having trouble with that link, I know that a lot of people have tried to sign up today, so maybe it was processing all these other people while you were trying to get yours done. Go back there, click on that link right now, because today, when you join our club for only $67, you're getting my listing presentation templates, you're getting our client welcome kit templates, and you're getting Chris's property marketing plan templates for free as a gift to you to say, hey, thank you for joining us. By the way, we want you to be wildly successful. Go start using all of these tools that we are offering you in the club so you can really have an awesome, sustainable business that you will be really proud of. So go sign up right now, and we'll see you in the club. And don't forget, go to our private Facebook group and request to join that after you sign up.
Well, thank you, Gary, and thank you guys for joining us. We look forward to seeing you in our club. We look forward to seeing you on one of our next trainings and in our private Facebook group. We'll see you online. Take care.
I just got a question from Maxine. Sorry. Maxine just said, hold on. I know, I'm cracking you up here. Maxine said, I cannot get the link to process. Danelle has tried 3 times. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to post a different link here to see if that works for you. Please go try that. By the way, Emma just posted. shoot us an email at support@thepaperlessagent.com. If you cannot get signed up with that link that I just posted, please email support@thepaperlessagent.com and say, I was on the webinar today with Chris and Gary. I want those bonuses. Please help me get signed up, and we'll make sure that we get that done for you. All right, with that.
All right, we'll see you online, guys. Take care. Bye.